All right. So, hello. Today, we are tuning the pineal gland. Clearing and tuning the pineal gland. Hi, Dina. Hello. So, this is an opportunity to kind of scour away. Hi, Sarah. The grit and the grime and the funkiness on your pineal gland. And we're going to tune it. And we're going to do some sound healing. So this is kind of a free little pop-up bonus for those of you in my community. It is also being shared in my Momentum of Flow group. And this goes along with the theme of what we're working on this month, which is the brow chakra, our intuition, the pineal gland. And I'm going to be working with 3 different tuning forks today. So the first one is in the 12th octave of the Schumann resonance. So it's 93.96 hertz. Hi, Marissa. And so you won't be able to hear it. And there's a very good chance you may not be able to hear all of them that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using 3. But it doesn't matter because the vibration is being projected into your field, whether you're listening live here or you're on the replay. And I'm going to use them in succession here because the 93.96 hertz, which is obviously like a lower frequency in terms of hertz, but it is in the 12th octave of the Schumann resonance. So it's 7.83 times 12. And so what this does is it's incredibly grounding for the body. So we're going to start off right here, right now with grounding you. And then we're going to move into like a scouring type energy. It's like, I use the analogy, it's like a medium grit sandpaper to kind of clear away the calcification on the pineal gland. And that is a clearing fork of 174 hertz. I really love using this fork. It's kind of a powerhouse. It's a workhouse fork. And then we're going to be tuning the energy, bringing up the harmonic, bringing up the coherence of not just the area in and around and all the etheric fields in and around the pineal gland, but also how it communicates with the pituitary gland, because your pituitary gland is considered a different eye that has a different higher connection with messages, downloads, light information in the universe. And the pituitary gland actually helps your pineal gland translate that information so that it can be usable in the body. So you can make it usable in your life. So you can follow an intuitive impulse, an instinct, a nudge, right? And so the 528 hertz, which is the final fork I'm going to be using, is going to be doing that tuning. But not only that, it's going to be tuning the entire body. So the sonic anatomy gets a treat with this clearing and healing and the upgrade into a higher threshold of coherence and harmony for the pineal gland. The whole body is going to get this treat of sonic tuning as well. So I recommend, if you are driving, maybe don't listen to this while you're driving. I recommend grabbing a glass of water real quick. This isn't going to take very long. It'll probably be about 30 minutes tops. And get yourself situated so you're comfortable. You can be seated, you can be laying down. You may find yourself to be so comfortable that you'll just fall asleep, and that's fine too. I see that I have people joining in my group. So let's just see who's there. Jante's there. Okay, so let's go. Let's go. I'm going to get some water. And I'm going to be guiding you through this. So there's nothing you have to do. I will guide you. Just listen to the sound of my voice and just allow yourself to be kind of lifted and taken by the energy. Let it lead you. Let yourself be led by the energy here. Be open to clearing the energy. Be open to getting rid of and letting fall away anything that does not align with your highest and best good. And this could be old echoes, memories of thoughts or feelings that actually block you or create resistance in being able to download information through your third eye. So just be willing to have that fall away now. You wouldn't be here right now if this wasn't aligned for you. You wouldn't have found yourself in this situation at this moment. That's kind of why I didn't want to announce it and let it be kind of impromptu in this way. And also, I just do that. I'm just that kind of person that does that. So we're going to start with the 93.96 hertz, which is the 12th octave of the Schumann resonance. So this is going to be very grounding. So if you're seated and you have your feet flat on the floor, just kind of focus on that connection that you have between the soles of your feet and the crystalline core of the earth. And like I said, you're probably not going to hear this. It's a very low hum, but understand it's being directed into your field. If I don't have your permission to work with your energetic field, helping you to clear and release, then you can just simply leave this call. Otherwise, the fact that you're staying on is the unofficial signing of the disclaimer, as it were, that you are here to receive and be available for healing and an upgrading of your body energetic, your photoelectric field, and you'll feel it. You'll feel the grounding. You might feel it as like a pull, kind of like a magnetic anchor in the belly, kind of connecting you down deep into the earth. That this fork kind of has that pull. It just feels like a really strong anchor in the lower extremities of the body, pulling you into the earth, grounding you. Just remembering that you're safe in this body. You are safe and supported in this body. You are safe and supported in the earth, in and on the earth. Is anybody feeling that? You're feeling that kind of heaviness, but it's kind of like a heaviness, like a weighted blanket. Those of you who might find it easier to sleep with a weighted blanket, it feels very safe. It feels very secure. That's how this fork feels. That's how this energy feels. And just letting yourself just really tune in. Just kind of discarding any of the thoughts or any of the feeling thoughts that are kind of going around in a carousel in your brain. Just kind of notice it. And to kind of stop that, you can just say in your own mind, hello? And it kind of breaks the pattern of that carousel of thought that's just going and going and all the stuff that you didn't do today, all the stuff you're supposed to do later on. It just kind of arrests that process. And it's a pattern interrupt. So you can just say, hello? And you'll realize there's no one in there. There's no one in that brain. These are all just echoes. You're magnetizing or attracting echoes, memories, thoughts that have been. They don't necessarily reflect where you are right now, and they don't have to reflect where you are right now. So yeah, it feels like a weighted blanket, right? Sarah says, yes, yawning, feeling relaxed. See, you don't have to hear the fork. And unless you have supersonic dog ears, you probably won't, right? My doggy Finn, he does not like my tuning forks. And he's usually always at my feet when I'm doing energy healing, but not when I'm working with the forks, not when I'm doing sound healing. So I'm just going to do a few more hits, a few more strikes on this fork and vibrating that. It does feel wonderful, doesn't it, Marissa? It's just like, it feels like home, right? You're just being pulled, like pulled into the present. It's a very good feeling. Yeah. So now that you're good and grounded, we're going to kind of move through. We're going to do a quick work through with this fork that is 174 hertz. And again, You're probably not going to hear it, and that's okay. And this is on Zoom, so Zoom does a bit of noise canceling sometimes if it's going against the sound of a voice. Anything that's background noise, it'll cancel that out. But again, you don't need to hear it. The frequency is active in your field, and it'll go where it needs to go. It has its own intelligence. It knows what it needs to do. And so we're going to do a quick, super relaxed. Dina says, awesome, awesome, awesome. It does feel like a weighted blanket, Shante says, yeah. So we're going to do just a quick head to toe clearing, just moving some energy out. We're just getting you nice and opened up. And then we can begin like doing some scouring and some deeper work of decalcifying that pineal gland. So reposition your body. You might notice you might need to shift in your chair, or you might even need to get a blanket. You know, you want to be cozy for this, right? Just treat your body to feeling really good. Have a sip of water. Let yourself feel at home and relaxed in this moment. Remember, if you're tuning into this, you're supposed to be here. This is meant for you. So, you know, dig into it. And if you need a blanket, or you need to discard a piece of clothing, maybe it's really warm where you are, just get yourself comfy, okay? So we're going to go head to toe on this one. Again, this is 174 hertz. So this is kind of like a workhorse fork, and it tunes the body for clearing out residue, echoes, stuff that's just not serving you. It's there, it's in your field because you haven't actively, consciously, deliberately cleared it. So just anything that's ready to go, just make that intention right now. Anything that's ready to go, leave my field. It's not serving me. It's not serving my purpose. It's not serving my ambitions. It's not serving my aspirations. I'm just really willing to let it go right now, okay? And just noticing at the scalp, you might feel tingling. Direct your attention to your scalp, all the muscles of the scalp, the nerve endings of the scalp, and just kind of letting that all come alive, be activated. Just kind of bringing an awareness to the body. It allows you to move into a place where, yeah, you know, I'm aware of this thing. It's not aligned. It's time to go. Let's focus on behind the ears. We don't focus enough behind the ears. There's a spot to connect with the vagus nerve behind the ears, right where the occipital ridge starts, in that kind of mound behind the ears. And you place your fingers there, an acupressure point that will activate and enliven the vagus nerve, the largest cranial nerve in the body, and affects the parasympathetic nervous system. We can use sound to kind of create pressure on that point and alleviate anything that's not supposed to be there. But we can also do it if we place our fingers there and gently rub. In TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, you can place your middle fingers on that area behind both ears and rub 36 times. And that will activate, stimulate, and clear the vagus nerve, which obviously affects all the other nerves in the body because it is the largest cranial nerve. Yeah, just kind of letting this energy kind of cascade down through the neck and opening up the neck muscles, clearing the energy of the throat as we bring it up around the front of the body. And then in the jaw, just noticing any tightness in the jaw. Maybe some of you grind your teeth when you sleep, or, you know, if you feel like you're holding in your truth, we'll often clench our jaw really tightly. And so just kind of notice as this energy tones and clears and opens and relaxes that area. Yeah. And then just bring it up into the sinuses too. Behind the eyes, behind the nose, in the ocular cavity, the brow. Bring it to the temples now, just clear that. Just releasing any tension. Those of you who get migraines and tension headaches, just let that soothe and relax. Let this tone be a balm as it clears. Okay, it can do that. Even though it's powerful scouring frequency, it can be a tone that is a balm, a tonic. Oh, and bring that down through the mouth. Just kind of roll the tone around, or if you can imagine the tone, if you can't hear it, like you're savoring a fine wine in the mouth. Let it cascade over the tongue. Soft palate. And I can kind of bring this down into the top of the chest, maybe the higher heart area or just below the clavicle. Can any of you hear this tone? And it might be super faint. Yeah, and just kind of bringing this down into the heart now and just soothing all of the muscles around the heart and the muscle of the heart. Bringing it into the lungs and healing any tension, tightness, constriction in the lungs. Just let it kind of bathe the lungs in this beautiful healing light. Let it absolve any kind of old patterns of grieving, of sadness. You can hold a lot of grief in the lungs. Just kind of let that go. Just release it. Take a deep breath in. And make an audible release with that exhale. Just let it out. Just let it out. Sometimes we're afraid of our own voice. Bring that into the throat too. Anywhere you, especially if you're brought up in a household where you're not supposed to make a sound. Especially with women, we feel like we're not supposed to be heard. If you grew up with any kind of trauma in your household, you understood that the less sound you made, the more you could stay invisible and not be seen and be made a target for any kind of hurt or terror. And so we've learned to kind of bury our voice in our throat, and the grief of that rests in the lungs. So just go ahead and take another deep breath in, and then make an audible exhale. It's okay. Who cares who hears you? You're fine. You're safe. And let that tone your vagus nerve as well, releasing that kind of fight, flight, or freeze that's all tied up in the throat, the chest, lungs. Yes, I can roll the tone around like a fine wine. Can you hear it faintly? Awesome. And so bringing this down into the solar plexus, kind of clearing where you feel like that lack of will, that lack of the right use of will, knowing how to act, when to act, feeling indecisive, just bringing up that power center a little bit more. You've already ignited the energy in your throat and cleared some energy there. So kind of bring that down and use it to tone the solar plexus. The solar being our solar center. We are solar. We are solar in nature. We are powered by light. We are light beings currently inhabiting a body. We are in a body, not necessarily of a body, but that doesn't mean that we can't love this body, feel at home in it, feel safe in it. Just let that be your source of power. I'm safe in this body. I'm safe on this planet. I'm safe on this earth. It is safe for me to act. It is safe for me to choose. It is safe for me to decide. Let that tone that area and bring it deep into the sacral. And kind of swirling this energy around in the bowl of your belly as you bring it around to the front and the back of you. Kind of bring it all the way up the backside from the lower back, all the way up the spinal column, all the nerves that meet in the center of our body, toning and clearing all of that. And let's not forget the arms. So as we bring this up to where the spinal column meets the base of the skull, let it go over your shoulders and cascade down the arms, clearing tension and tightness in the arms. Anywhere we clench our fists, anywhere we clench energy in our upper body at all. Anywhere we have inflammation in the body, in the hands, the fingers. Let that kind of go out through the fingertips and just feel that kind of lightness of being as you kind of let all that go through the fingertips. And let's bring the energy back now, focusing on the pelvic bone, on the hips, the hip joints. And down the front of the body, the hips, the pelvic region, down the back of the body, over the glutes, just kind of clearing and toning energy there. And now down through the legs. Really feel that through the trunk muscles. As you release anything that's keeping you from moving forward, anything that's keeping those knees, you have locked knees, you're working with some resistance about moving forward. This could be indecisiveness. Take that energy that we cleared around indecisiveness in the belly and just kind of guide it, intentionally bring it down to the knees. Anywhere you feel locked or rigid or inflexible in the knees, in the front and the back of the knees, just bringing that energy down now. And let this kind of gentle scouring energy just clear that up, shine it up, polish it up, rejuvenate the energy there, awaken it, enliven it. Yeah. And then down through the front of the legs, the lower legs, down through the shins and then the calves. And just kind of let this circle and swirl around the lower legs so you feel really supported, really loving energies from Mother Earth as it's like reaching up to grab a hold of you and say, hey, I got you. I got you. You're okay. You're safe. You're supported. You're loved. You're looked after. Okay. And feeling that kind of bathe your feet like a tonic, or you're soaking your feet in a beautiful like Epsom salt bath with lavender in it or your favorite essential oil, kind of toning the feet. Let it kind of bathe all around the energy of the feet, the tops of the feet, in the knuckles of the toes, the tips of your toes, the ball of the foot, the arch, the plantar tendon, the heel, the ankles. Don't forget the ankles, the Achilles, down to the undersides of the toes, and then just kind of gently ushering the energy down, all the way down to the center of the earth. Just giving yourself a moment in this pause to really let the energy kind of anchor there. And feel that weight again, but it's like a gentle, loving weight, almost like an embrace has a weight on your body. Or your favorite heavy wool sweater that keeps you cozy in the wintertime. Just feel that gentle weight that's really bringing you like completely back in your body. Anywhere you felt dissociated, out of your body, you're now fully back in it. Just give yourself this pause here, this breath, this space to feel that heaviness, that good heaviness of feeling at home in your body. Nothing is disconnected. Nothing is distorted. No systems or functions are disrupted. You're just, boom, at home. And just give yourself a second to sit with that and have some water if you like. And in just a second, we're going to start focusing on scouring and clearing and de-calcifying this pineal gland, okay? And so at first, you might want to have a sip of water here. At first, this energy might be a little jarring, but I want you to do something for me. As we're working through the first part of this clearing, you might want to just run for the hills. You're like, nope, too uncomfortable. I want to get out of here. Do me a favor. Let me ask you, just sit with it. Just kind of sit with it. Let it happen. Breathe into it. Just like you felt that heaviness just a moment ago, feeling connected to the earth. Maybe you still feel it. Hopefully you still do. Connect in with the breath and just use the breath to kind of send whatever feels dense, heavy, tight, uncomfortable, disruptive, send it down through the body and out into the earth. Mother Earth will transmute it for you, okay? You don't have to take it on. You've been taking it on for a long time. You don't need to be the filter or the vessel for it anymore. Remember, you wouldn't be here if this wasn't perfectly aligned with your divine timing for releasing something, letting something go, transmuting and transposing an energy. It doesn't belong to you anymore, okay? So if it feels jarring and you're like, I gotta get out of here, do me a favor, take a deep breath in, send it down through the body, make an audible sigh of release. You'll feel better. It'll shift. Okay. So just sit with it. And give me your feedback in the comments too, because I can help you work with it. Okay. So those of you who are here live, you get an extra bonus because I'll help you clear some stuff out if it feels like this is stuck, Kathryn, and I'm really uncomfortable. I'll help you with it. Okay. All right, here we go. So this is 528 hertz and 174 together as we're beginning to kind of, whew, okay, I feel that already. We're starting to awaken the pineal gland, just kind of wake it up like it's a little sleepy. We get our pineal gland calcified for any number of reasons. Processed foods, major culprit. Fluoridation in the water, drinking tap water, that's a big no-no. Don't drink tap water, even if you can just do, a Brita filter or something, just a small shift that you can take in purifying your water, do that. Also, thinking negative thoughts, having a strong cognitive bias that leans toward the negative can also calcify that pineal gland. So here we go again. I know this feels big. Stay with it, breathe. Remember, just breathe. And as you kind of focus in on the pineal gland, if you were looking at it, if you had a God's eye view, a bird's eye view of your pineal gland, just imagine it in your mind's eye. Imagine your pineal gland in your scalp. What does it look like? Does it have a color around it? What's the color? Does it feel murky? Does it feel bright? Does it feel kind of grayish? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel light or weightless? Just noticing with a bird's eye view as I do this next strike, what's going on there? If you had, a vision of your etheric field around the pineal gland, what would it look like? What would the aura of your pineal gland look like? So let's look at it again. What's going on there? What do you see? What do you see? And just noticing if that shifts and changes, what are you feeling in your body as you connect with the sensations? Feel the sensations in the body as you connect with the vision of what you're seeing from the God's eye view of looking at the aura of your pineal gland. What are the sensations cueing you in on in the body? That's information. Your body is giving you information. It's called biofeedback. It's saying, hey, this is what's up. What is it? Go with your first instinct, your first answer on that. If it feels blocked, what feels blocked? All the answers are within you. Just kind of breathe deep again. We're starting to get into, I can hear the change in the tone of the forks. So I'm going to move from smashing and clashing the 528 and 174 together. And I'm just going to work with the 174 now. Because now we've got the pineal gland really awake, aware. Everything has its own consciousness level of perspective of itself, including you. And so your pineal gland is now through the tones and frequencies. It's like a reflection, reflecting back on the pineal gland where it's out of balance, where there isn't harmony, where there isn't coherence. So it's not the tuning forks that do the healing, the scouring, the clearing. They act as a mirror. They act as a reflection, reflecting back to you, to parts of you, to the organs, the tissues, the glands. What's going on? What's out of balance? What's out of coherence? And here's another one. So I hear like a wah, 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 like a real wonkiness. So we're still moving it back into balance here, kind of scouring and clearing. It's like, I don't know if you remember that commercial, Scrubbing Bubbles. I'm really dating myself here. The Scrubbing Bubbles, it's like almost a cartoon. It says, we work hard so you don't have to. And that's kind of what this frequency is doing for you, reflecting back right to your pineal gland. What is out of order there? What is creating discord, disharmony? And so the pineal can correct itself. Because everything's vibration, right? And it's like homeopathic in a way. tuning forks. Homeopathic, meaning you use a little bit of the medicine to correct the frequency of where that is already a frequency within you. So we're taking the mirror of this sound to reflect back on the pineal gland, that frequency, and say, oh, when I take in this frequency, this is happening. This awareness is coming around. I saw my pineal gland being cleaned in hydrogen peroxide. Okay, great. Great. The energy's working. That's how we know it's working. And sometimes it's done with some comedic relief, right? Okay, I'm starting to hear a little different tone. Tone is starting to be more in accord, more harmonious. Yeah, so you might even feel and start to see like a brightness, like more of an illumination around the pineal gland. You might start to feel a little lighter at the top of the head. It might also feel like if you were to, let's use the analogy of a car with a sunroof. If the car that you drive, which is your body, had a sunroof, you can imagine the sunroof kind of pop, opening up, and just letting energy go out, letting it go back, be transmuted by the cosmos, just as we have energy that can be transmuted by Mother Earth. Also, energies can be transmuted by other cosmic energies. They can go back to their point of origin, in other words, because they're no longer aligned with you, meaning you're not holding a frequency anymore that kind of locks this level of consciousness or awareness or this distortion down into your energy. You're moving up into a different threshold, a different harmonic or octave of energy. So that means you're no longer an available vessel to hold it, if that makes sense. I keep seeing my pineal gland as a light bulb that keeps flickering like a flame, sometimes bright, then dim. It's accompanied by heaviness in my throat and chest. Okay, so breathe into that throat area. I'm seeing it right under your clavicle, so like your higher heart, the tortoise heart, we would call it also. And so I want you to imagine, like, go ahead and play with this imagery, just a playful little tortoise right over top of your heart. So in between the throat and in between your heart chakra. And it's just a very playful little tortoise. And you can play with them. You can pick them up. You can hold them. And as you do that, just kind of notice that any kind of sticky or tight energy, you pick that little tortoise up. You imagine in your mind's eye, putting him back on the ground, letting him crawl away, go back home. You take that energy with you. It feels lighter, a little more open. I know that's a silly analogy, but hey, I go with what comes in. Let me know if that feels a little bit lighter and brighter there. And also, what are you afraid to say? You know, you don't have to answer me here. This is for your own edification and reflection. What are you afraid to say? What's the worst that could happen? Right? Something that really needs to come out. And I will tell you, you know, because we are sonic electric, we're photoelectric, we are sonic beings, we're all vibrations walking around. We think we're in this body, but we're just one big giant vibration. And the things we don't say disrupts this sonic vibration. It disrupts our frequency, and it ends up with all kinds of things happening, like inflammation. Inflammation happens a lot because of the things that we don't say, the sounds we don't release. So Jante, you can probably hear, because I know your clairaudience and your sense of hearing is really on point. And you can probably hear, maybe, or pick it up anyway in the field, that there's a different resonance of the fork now. It's a clearer and brighter resonance. It's a clearer and brighter tone. I can tell you from my end, even if you can't hear, you could probably feel the fork, but I hear it and feel it. It's a brighter, more resonant tone. So we're doing some good scouring here, folks. Feels good. Feels really good. So All right, just kind of breathe into that. We're going to move to the 528 hertz. And this is just going to smooth all the rough edges or any kind of roughness or hard edges that have come up from this clearing. And the 528 hertz just kind of brings this kind of balmy, like healing, balancing, reharmonizing, re-energizing, smoothing tone, and you'll feel it. You'll feel it. Even if you can't hear it, you'll still be able to feel it. Yes, it is brighter and more resonant. Yeah, Jante. All right, here we go. So just breathe. If you want to have some water here, go with your own instincts and intuition. I'm going to have some water. That was delicious. I needed that. And also, if you got your water nearby, here's a bonus. We are blessing and charging your water through these frequencies too. So the room that you're in, if you're amplifying this, you're not listening to it on headphones, you're amplifying the energy of the room that you're in. If you got your doggy, your cat, your four-legged familiar with you, you're amplifying their energy, you're amplifying the field of the entire space you're occupying through this, right? And that'll be true whether live or listening to the replay, okay? So here we go with the first strike, 528 hertz. You'll feel this right away in the heart chakra. And then it kind of like blossoms out like a lotus blossom, kind of blossoms out from the heart. Yeah. So I want to share this with you today because I'm going to be offering something mid-June, and it's going to be over 6 classes over 2 weeks, tuning the sonic anatomy, and specifically systems of the body. We're going to be doing a focus on 6 systems of the body. And this will kind of give you a little bit of a taster of what you're going to experience with that. So we're obviously working with the nervous system as well here, right? Because if we are regulating a system that doesn't feel harmonious, feels out of balance, then we are working with the nervous system. So kind of by proxy and by default, we are toning the nervous system here as well. We're tuning the sonic anatomy through all of the body parts, systems, nerve endings, through the nervous system and bringing up the harmonic of that here, as well as working with scouring, clearing, upping you into another harmonic threshold of the pineal gland. So with the 6 systems, we're going to be working with the immune, the circulatory, the digestive, the skeletal, the nervous, and the endocrine. And I want to offer it as a real nice price point. It's going to be $297. We're going to do it over 2 weeks. So we're going to meet for 3 classes the first week and 3 classes the next week. And it's just going to be so delicious. This is an all system tuning, even though we're focusing on 6 systems. And then I'm going to focus on another 6 systems probably in late July. So there'll be a part 2, but through sound healing. So you can already feel the change in your body. So who feels the difference between when you first jumped on this call versus where you are right now? And do you feel that kind of smoothing energy? It's kind of smoothing out all the rough edges, not just around where you feel it in your brow and in your head and your scalp, but your nervous system feels regulated. You feel calmer. You certainly feel more grounded, right? You feel more in your body. Most of the problems that we have is because we're not in our body. We're all walking around. Nobody's in our body. When I was traveling last week, I love going to the airport. Like, I hate the airport, but I love going to the airport because as a people watcher and someone who's deeply intuitive, kind of looking at just how many people are just walking around, wandering around on autopilot, and nobody's really in their body. And this is such a problem. We wonder why we feed our bodies crap. It's not fuel. We feed it crap. We feed it crap thoughts. We feed it crap food. We feed it crap energy. We feed it crap feelings. Sometimes we allow ourselves to keep feeling crappy because it's what we're used to. And we've become accustomed to being dissociated. This is not normal. This is not normal. You hear this one more, huh, Sarah? Yeah, 528 hertz is wonderful. And we're going to be working with, in tuning the sonic anatomy, 144 hertz, as well as these forks here, and maybe a couple other ones. We might be working with the Fibonacci pair of tuning forks, which are really fun to work with. So if you love this, if you love the way this feels, I highly recommend getting into this. And so I'll give you all the dates and I'll put it in the comments here when I'm done. And I'll be having a post about it this week. So just kind of notice how this kind of ripples out from the heart space and goes down deep into the belly, through the legs. It takes its energy way up through the chest, the shoulders, the neck, the throat, into the scalp. And let this energy kind of go up and out of that sunroof like we imagined before. I'm going to do one more strike here because the energy sounds a little more vibrant, bright, and resonant. So I think we're good. And imagine just kind of bringing this energy. I'm going to let the resonance of this fork kind of go through the cycle of its vibration. Bring us back into this pause again. Go back into the pause. It's really all the great information that we can mine, all the wisdom we can glean. It's really in the spaces in between. It's in the silence. So let yourself feel that silence, that stillness now. Remember how much you love this body, how good it is to you. Be good to it. And how do you want to use this energy now? Now that you've awakened, enlivened, you've cleared, you brought your pineal gland into a higher harmonic, the next higher octave of energy, how do you want to use this? How do you want to use this? There's treasures to mine here in terms of having a higher and better, clearer relationship and connection with your higher self through the brow chakra, through the pineal gland. How do you want to use that? I can't tell you how to use that. Everything's on the table. Everything's open. Everything's open. You're only limited by your own creativity and how you want to use this energy. How will you use it? Let your freak flag fly. Have fun. Be free. Be open. Notice how when you feel this kind of openness in your pineal gland, you also feel an openness in your body. That is because the way your pineal gland communicates with you is the biofeedback, the sensations in the body. So if you're more in your body, not only are you going to feel those sensations of your pineal gland talking to you through the sensory input you get in your body, but also it's an invitation for you to trust those impulses, those instincts, those gut feelings more and more, yeah? So give yourself permission to do that here. Jante says, I love this. Don't sign up for this, Jante, because ladies who are in Temple of the Phoenix, you're going to get this. So don't sign up for it. Don't pay extra for it because Jante, who's in Temple of the Phoenix with me, and by the way, this is the last day to sign up for reorganizing your solar feminine architecture and enlivening that through this kind of modern day mystery school, Temple of the Phoenix, initiation of the 5 immortal treasures. Today's the last day to sign up for this. And so if you're in that program, you will get tuning the sonic anatomy as part of that program. I truly do feel more in my body and safe. Yes, my feet are literally warm on the earth right now, along with heart chest space. Yeah, so savor this, you know. I know that we all have stuff to do. I know we all have busy lives, but do yourself a real favor. Give yourself a real treat and a gift. of this space. Let it kind of resonate a little bit more. Let yourself kind of savor and bask in these energies just a little bit longer before you get up and do stuff, or get on the phone, or scroll social media, or check your Facebook post, or do whatever you got to do. Just give yourself a minute. You know, rest is not a reward. Rest is the balance of living this, you know, hectic, super paced lifestyle that we've all become way too comfortable with and accustomed to. It's not normal. You know, rest isn't a reward. It is the balance, right? And it's the spaces in between. We've got to let ourselves feel into all the nuances of the spaces in between, because that's where the real information is mined. That's where the real wisdom can be gleaned, in the silence, in the stillness. And let your body kind of gently and subtly, through subtle frequencies, give you feedback about what it knows. It knows a lot, right? And be inspired about, you know, how do I want to keep my pineal gland nice and clean and clear? You know, do I want to keep feeding it garbage, processed foods, terrible thoughts? You know, do I want to keep thinking and believing terrible things about myself? Do I want to keep self-criticizing? Because that calcifies the pineal gland too, you know? You know, think about getting maybe a better filter for water. If you've been drinking tap, maybe just stop drinking tap. Stop, you know, don't drink bottled water necessarily and pollute more plastic on the earth, but get yourself a good filter. There's so many great ones out there right now. Commit to drinking green water, maybe getting yourself a tincture of chlorophyll and just adding a drop to your water. That decalcifies the pineal gland too. Just commit to one thing. You don't have to do all the things. You know, a little micro commitment towards keeping your pineal gland nice and clear. So not only can you be a better steward of that connection between the body and the pineal gland and the sensations you get, which is how the pineal gland uses that information of what's coming in from higher dimensions to communicate with you, but also how will you surrender to better trusting these nudges and these urges that show up as sensations, feelings. I'm inspired to love my pineal gland even more. Awesome. Awesome. So I will have more information this week, probably in a couple days, about tuning the sonic anatomy. This is going to be an incredibly powerful way to raise the voltage in your body, because when you're working with tuning, you're working with the voltage of the body. You are recharging the photoelectric body. This is a powerful, powerful time to do this. In the summertime, we're going through, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, this solar correction of the solar template. You know, let's remind ourselves that we are solar in nature. Our bodies are solar. We are solar powered. We are full of light, electricity, energy. Let's repower that, re-energize that. I'd love to take you on this journey with me. And that's why I wanted to keep the price point really low, really reasonable. Doing a green juice cleanse today. So perfect confirmation. See, you're all supposed to be here. Melissa says, oh, hi, Melissa. Water quality makes a big difference. Absolutely. Because it changes the pH of the body. And there's a lot of evidence being done, and I'm going to talk about this when we do tuning the sonic anatomy, rather. I'm going to talk about how pH in the body is actually voltage. It's actually voltage. It's actually showing how electrically charged we are. And we are really in a dull electrical charge when the body's more acid. And a lot of people's bodies are a lot more acid. That's why we have inflammation. That's why we have so many disruptions and distortions in all the systems of the body. So when you change the pH of your water and going more towards alkaline, right, towards the higher end of the pH scale, you are upping your voltage. You can do that with sound frequency tuning and healing as well. So yay, yay, yay. I bought a new big water bottle earlier today to encourage more water. See, this is all so aligned. Oh, perfect. Thanks for being here, everybody. This was fun sharing this with you. And I hope that you'll take this energy forward, experience more pleasure and peace and joy and bliss by being more in your body. Lots of love and peace. Bye-bye.